In Round Rock, Texas, and the heavy barbells are on the field for event number 3. Thanks for staying with us today, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland alongside Adrian Conway. Event number 3 is the back attack presented by NOBULL.
Yeah, man, this event is literally something that I drooled or fantasized about throughout my whole competition career in the sport of fitness, so I can't wait to watch this couplet that we have programmed in front of us.
Here are your overall standings coming into the event, and we have a tie in points at the top of the leaderboard, but Justin Medeiros has the tie break after winning event 2. He and Ricky Garrard dead even at 180 points. Chandler Smith, who won the opening heat of event number 2, sits in third, followed by Roman Krennikov and Björgvin Gudmundsson. A back squat and some box jump overs. A beautiful combination.
Yeah, a beautiful combination in a descending rep scheme. They're gonna do 5 back squats, then 25 box jump overs, and they are going to maneuver their way down the ladder until they get to 1 back squat and 5 box jump overs. We can certainly count on lower body fatigue being something that continually builds as this workout progresses.
With that being said, what are the keys to be successful here?
You know, 2 of the keys that I've got is 1, loaded confidence. The athlete that's most confident under a substantial amount of weight like this will transition faster and also cycle reps faster. And then the second is a quote that I once learned from Matt Chan: go fast and take chances. You're gonna have to do that if you wanna walk away the victor in this test.
If those chances don't pay off, it could be very costly. And for more on that, here's Kiki Dixon.
Guys, back attack needs a little asterisk next to it. That's because if they drop the barbell off their back, it's basically game over. Why, you might ask? If they drop it, they're responsible for returning it back to the rack. And good luck with that, right? It definitely sets the stakes a little bit higher for these athletes to play each and every rep and set as effective as possible.
So if you're going to go, you better know you're going to make that rep. No one wants to drag a 405-pound barbell back to the rack. Here are your lane assignments for this first of 2 heats. Nick Mathew will be in lane number 7. Mathew comes in 13th place overall after taking 13th in event number 2.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, he's got the biggest back squat of this entire group. 545 is his listed 1 rep max, and that means we've got to suspect that he has got a lot of anticipation and eagerness for a workout or a test like this that we're going to watch on the field.
We are underway, 5 reps at 405, and keep an eye on Nick Mathew in lane number 7.
Yeah, we mentioned that he's got that big 1 rep max, and the question is, how does this then correlate to a sub-maximal load 4 reps while we're gonna accumulate a lot of stress and fatigue with these box jump overs? So he's the first to the box, and I'll tell you what, that bodes pretty well for what's in store for the rest of this test.
90 total repetitions in the event. Nick Mathew and Chandler Smith were the first 2 men to the box. Jorge Fernandez is there along with Jack Farlow. Farlow on the left side of your screen, the youngest man in the competition, just 20 years old. Heiner Kapalainen going through his first set of 25 box jump overs as well.
We see some different variants with the cycling choices here. We've seen Nick Mathew, who is rebounding these box jumps from side to side, where he literally accelerates away as he lands on the balls of his feet away from the ground each and every repetition. And this, of course, just increases his cycle rate, which allows him to be the first back to the back squat.
Mathew is done with his opening round, back to the rack for 4 back squats. As Tim Paulson is just closing out his first set of 5. Mathew having no problem so far. Here comes Chandler Smith.
And this is that loaded confidence that I pointed out as a key for these athletes. Is look at the time that Chandler and Noah are both taking before they get under the rack. There was no hesitation or pause there from Nick.
Noah Olson is back to the barbell. Olson coming in 8th place overall. Took a 9th in the opening event, Texas Trail, and an 8th place in event number 2. Olson currently sits in 3rd place in this heat as Chandler Smith and Noah Olson get to the box behind Nick Mathew. Mathew in the middle in the crop top that he sported at the games back in August.
It's becoming a bit of a signature, and it makes him easy to spot.
Mathew is done with the second round. 3 rounds remain. He is well past the halfway point as far as the number of back squats he needs to complete. He's done 9. He only has 6 left.
And we don't often categorize the back squat as a high skill movement, but under that type of load, there's tremendous amounts of skill and timing that go into the demand of these athletes. They've got to stay right about the midfoot as they go down and up. Too far back in the heel and you stumble, or your torso cantilevers forward, and then the weight is too high on your back. And then, of course, like Kiki mentioned, then we're at risk for a missed rep or that barbell ending up on the ground.
Noah Olson and Chandler Smith are back to the barbell for their sets of 3 at the same time. Chandler Smith on the right side of the screen. Mathew continues to make quick work of these box jump overs, and now 2 reps at 405 for Nick Mathew.
He's almost accelerated his pace. There's more urgency here. He knows he's got less work to do every time he goes back to the barbell, and that allows him to attack it with more and more confidence.
Noah Olson is now in second place as he has moved ahead of Chandler Smith. Olson on to his set of 15 box jump overs as Nick Mathew is now on his set of 10.
Other than the rebounding, what I really like from Nick is that he's catching each jump high above parallel, so that he's not fatiguing his quads. Unlike what we see with Chandler, is he's catching himself in a low squat. He's going now from a squat all the way back to a heavy squat. To me, that's an unnecessary redundancy in this test.
1 rep left at 405 for Nick Mathew. And that barbell was a minor inconvenience for Nick Mathew, and now 5 box jump overs, and then he'll have to sprint across the finish line. So Nick Mathew looking at a heat win, and that is going to be a tough time to beat. Nick Mathew, no problem, 4:15.40 seconds.
It's a good feeling right there to come across, especially with that much of a lead. It's going to create a lot of momentum for him throughout the course of this weekend.
Now Noah Olson looks to be the second man to finish behind Mathew. Olson onto his second to last set of box jump overs. Chandler Smith as well. Olson just ahead of Smith in the fight for second place in the heat.
I tell you, Noah's pace naturally, his cadence had hastened a bit as well as we've got deeper and deeper into the test. Now he's down to 1. He attacked that one with the most confidence yet.
Final 5 reps for Noah Olson. Noah Olson is done, and he will take second place in the opening heat of back attack presented by NOBULL, 5:20.15 seconds. And here comes Chandler Smith, who stays upright this time across the finish line. 5:28.27 seconds for Chandler.
And it looked like there's an exchange like, okay, yeah, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one, said Chandler.
2 very good friends going head to head once again. They had a good battle in event number 2 earlier in the day. Leaves Jack Farlow as your leader on the field. He's in the blue shorts, middle of your screen, going through his final 5 box jumps. Cole Sager's heading back to the barbell for the final time. The second to last time for Sager as Farlow is across.
And Farlow, even as the youngest male competitor, he's strong. You know, we often see that as the youth rise through our sport and through the rankings, that's one thing that it takes some time and time under tension and reps to build up. And he's right there ready to compete with a lot of these men who've been competing in the open field for quite a while.
Scott Tetlow is across, and here comes Jonakowski, but once again, the heat winner, Nick Mathew, who sprinted through that event.
And the flex there for his celebration is oh so appropriate.
Still plenty of time left, and we still have some men out there on the floor working. There's Tim Paulson. Cole Sager got across the finish line. Farlow was in as well. Heinrich Happelainen and Tim Paulson are the two men left working. Cole Sager's back out on the field, trying to help these two guys get through this event.
Here we go. And Tim Paulson isn't necessarily one that we would assume is struggling with his back squat weight. Listed 1 rep max somewhere around 465 to 470.
Happelainen is in. And Tim Paulson looks like he's going to get time capped. Now it's about just getting as many reps as he possibly can here.
And we can't pretend that the run didn't happen, right? Just a little over 24 hours ago, these athletes were put to a test that lasted, some of them close to 40 minutes, and they were under load, and they traveled a vast distance up through hills, around trails. So a lot of this residual leg fatigue could be showing right now for an athlete like Tim, even amongst these back squats.
We still have one event to go here on day 2 of competition for the CrossFit athletes. That is DT with a spin. That'll be happening later. And there's an echo bike in there. We all know what Tim Paulson can do on an echo bike.
We'll send Tim.
Cole Sager and Noah Olson, two men who have won the Spirit of the Games Awards, out there trying to get Paulson through this. Final seconds for Tim, and that'll do it. Paulson thanking the crowd for the support. Nick Mathew, 4:15.40 seconds. The only man to go sub 5 in that opening heat. And that is going to be a tough time to track down for the athletes in the second and final heat.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Nick Mathew, he was the one that we picked to watch. That 545 back squat showed its value right now. We watch athletes execute, and when they build such a capacity and strength that there's a buffer between them and the rest of the field, you get to see performances like this. I talked with Shane Orr before today started, and Nick Mathew represents Proven, of course. Said that he's just out here to learn, have a good time, and feel the environment of a high-level competition.
Nick Mathew, 4:15.40 seconds to take heat number 1. Noah Olson this time wins the battle between himself and Chandler Smith. Olson in second, Smith in third, Jorge Fernandez and Scott Tetlow rounding out the top 5 with 1 heat to go. Heat 2 coming up next. The men who will be in that heat in the dugout right now, getting ready to take the field. As the crew here gets the equipment reset for Back Attack presented by NOBULL.
Yeah, and you got that shot of the athletes getting ready to come on out. They look like caged animals over there, especially for this one. You have to get your adrenaline and your physical and mental arousal just right for a workout this heavy and this fast.
Descending reps in the back squats and the box jump overs, 405 pounds on the bar. There's Lazar Jukic. Keep an eye on him. He rolled his ankle during the Texas Trail event.
Yeah, and that's something that certainly can become problematic when you look at accumulating such work with these box jump overs in a workout like this.
Lane assignments on the left side of your screen for the second and final heat. Justin Medeiros and Ricky Garrard tied with 180 points, but it's Medeiros who occupies right now the top spot on the overall standings because of his event win in event number 2. We are underway Opening with the 5 back squats at 405 pounds.
And Jeff Adler, none other than the man from Canada who had a great showing in that run and even in event 2. We are now watching him for this one because we know that strength is something that he has in droves. And I'm really excited for him to show his capacity here, not just in what he can do with the barbell, but how he can maintain and sustain a pace on a movement like the box jump over.
Adler, Medeiros, and Krennikov, the first 3 men to the box, followed closely by Pat Vellner and Sam Quant. And Lazar Jukic will be the last man to the box jump overs. He's on the right side of your screen in the black shirt.
Yeah, and it's tough, Sean, because we knew this loading might be something that he already was going to struggle with a touch, let alone now dealing with a lower body injury or ailment. It makes it even more difficult. You probably feel like you're almost shifting away from the side that has a little bit of pain into the good side, which we knew over reps and time can be a bit problematic.
Jeff Adler is done along with Roman Krennikov. Justin Medeiros making his way back to the barbell for his set of 4 back squats.
This is that element of loaded confidence, which is, of course, one of the keys to success on this event, where Adler walks up. I don't even know if he has a belt around his midsection, gets under the load and gets right to work.
Adler is done. He will go back for his set of 20. Roman Krennikov.
Yeah, and what I expect from Jeff is that he's going to build speed with his rhythm of these box jumps. He's setting a pace right now just to make sure that he's good for the 4 and for the 3. With anticipation, he should build the way that he's rebounding and springing off the floor with these box jump overs.
Ricky Garrard, you saw him just making his way back to the barbell for his set of 4. So Garrard is falling way off the lead pace here.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ricky, I think it's one of those deals where he's built up his strength to a point where he can compete when it's down to 1 rep. But when we look at submaximal loads that are relatively on the heavier side, and we're having to cycle it rep after rep after rep, it's not necessarily a strong suit of his currently.
Garrard is on his set of 4. Adler is back for his set of 3. Continuing to lead here in the second heat, Roman Krennikov was right behind Adler. The score's not tabulating right now, but he has been very close with Adler and Medeiros. So now Medeiros is right behind Adler, getting to the box for the set of 15.
There's that slight increase in cadence that we were hoping to see from Jeff Adler, and it's there. Medeiros has definitely also sped up his cycle rate.
Goes Adler back to the barbell, now his set of 2. 4:15.40 seconds from Nick Mathew, the time to beat.
Sean, there's beauty in that squat. An upright torso, he's driving through his heels. His knees drive back just at the right time.
Adler with 10 reps here on the box jump overs. Medeiros and Krennikov are closing out their sets. And here comes Medeiros. Justin Medeiros now in second place in the heat. Nick Mathew looks like he's going to win this event. Final rep on the back squat for Adler. Now 5 reps remain. Nick Mathew is going to lock up the event win. Adler can still get second here if he hurries. Adler is done. He will take the heat, and we will see where he winds up in relation to the rest of the field, as Justin Medeiros is now going to come to the box for the final time.
Justin doing what he does best, playing the field and executing to have a top finish or towards a top finish almost each and every event.
Medeiros is across the finish line. Roman Krennikov is now your leader on the field. Krennikov just finished up now a sprint with Pat Vellner, and it's going to be Vellner who beats Krennikov across the finish line. Now here comes Sam Quant. Close finish between Krennikov and Vellner, but Vellner gets the best of Krennikov.
Pat Vellner just being the man. Not talked about the whole event and then just sneaking in there. Racking up points.
Ricky Garrard is still out there. He's in that weightlifting belt in lane 7. Jeff Adler is not going to win the event, but he does take the heat. Adler came in 6th place overall, looking to punch his way into the top 5, heading into the final event of the day.
Yeah, and this is a great one. I think Adler probably had the expectation to go out there and win, and sometimes it's tough when you know you're not going against one of the other top dogs in a particular test to have that urgency throughout, but that's why it's important not to just race everybody that's in your heat and understand that you're racing the clock each and every test.
Saxon Panchik just came across the finish line. Now Jason Hopper is done. Hopper in at 6:12 as Lazar Jukic is trying to gut through this event. Ricky Garrard still has a ways to go here, trying to get inside the time cap. 9 minutes is the allotted time for the event.
Yeah, and this is one of those lessons. Everybody's got something to work on, and it's going to get exposed at one point or another. And this is one thing that I'm sure Ricky is going to take back with him and understand that it just takes time and it takes reps. That's the most difficult part about strength in our sport, is that it takes the most patience.
Less than 2 minutes to go before we hit the 9-minute time cap. Ricky Garrard, who came in tied in points with Justin Medeiros, is going to fall back in the overall standings, but still have a long way to go. Still one more event remains on the day later on this evening. Garrard with 6 total reps remaining. This is final rep at 405.
And it feels a lot heavier than 405 when you're out there and you know the pressure of, hey, if I drop this, I've got to re-rack the bar. It makes you take that extra second to hesitate almost between each and every round.
Garrard is in. 7:53.53 seconds for Ricky. Less than a minute to go for Lazar Jukic. Jeffrey Adler, the man who won the heat, is out there trying to provide some encouragement for Jukic.
Yeah, and you hate to see it, even if it's a fellow competitor and you want your, you have the largest desire to win or best one of the other opponents. If you understand that they're not quite at full go or full speed, it's heartbreaking for everybody involved, because even as competitors, we want to only overcome the best of each other out there.
Jukic has 2 reps to complete here at 405 before he moves back to the box, and has less than 10 seconds to do it. Decides to give that last rep a go, doesn't get it. Jeffrey Adler will win the heat, 4:27.01 seconds. Nick Mathew is going to win the event, 4:15.40. Justin Medeiros doing what he does. Another top 5 finish for him. He will take 3rd overall. Patrick Vellner just edging out Roman Krennikov in that race to the finish. And then it's Sam Quant, Bjorn Gudmundsson, Noah Olson, and Chandler Smith. Let's send it down to Kiki Dixon with your event winner, Nick Mathew. Having some technical difficulties with Kiki Dixon's mic. We're going to get those fixed, and then we will send it back down to her to hear from Nick Mathew. The crew is out removing the equipment from the field as we still have 1 event remaining for the CrossFit athletes here on day number 2 of competition. That is DT with a spin. That's coming up a little bit later. And we still have another strongman event to come. Checking on the overall standings now after 3 events for the men. Justin Medeiros is now opening up a lead. 35 points over Jeffrey Adler. Roman Krenikov sits in 3rd. Chandler Smith just 5 points back of them. Patrick Vellner moves all the way up to 5th place, followed by Bjorvin Gudmundsson. The top 6 men all above 200 points, with still 1 event to go on the day. Friday at the Rogue Invitational continues here, and the heavy barbells are still out on the field as the men give way to the women for event number 3, Back Attack, presented by NOBULL. Thanks for being with us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland with Adrian Conway, and coming into this event, maybe a bit of surprise at the top of the women's overall standings, Emma Lawson. At 17 years old, she is your leader.
She is our leader, and we're only 2 events in, but we have seen her in this position before, and it was at the CrossFit Games just a few months ago. She got to wear the leader's jersey there for a little bit of time, and I think that she likes the feeling. Now, we're going to get into an event here where the other capacities that have yet to be tested are going to be under demand, so I'm excited to see what she does here in event 3.
Emma Lawson, a 20-point cushion on Danielle Brandon, who won event number 1. Bailey Rogers still inside the top 3. She is tied at 150 points with Jacqueline Dahlstrom, and it's Ariel Lowen who had a strong performance in event number 2, rounding out the top 5. Event number 3, 2 movements. It's the Back Attack presented by NOBULL.
Back Attack, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a descending rep scheme of box jump overs to go with it. And we know the load, it's going to be heavy. Just like it was for the males, the females are going to have to make sure that they have a particular ability to carry loaded confidence, which is one of the big focuses here going into this particular workout, where they need to attack the load with an understanding that, 1, they're not going to spill the bar off their back. They're not going to have to pick it up themselves, which of course we deem almost as impossible, but they're also going to need to cycle back and forth between the box jump overs and the barbell quickly. And then of course they're going to have to go fast and take chances. So carry that loaded confidence and be able to understand there's going to be risk involved if you hope to not just...
We open with the 5 reps at 275. 9-minute time cap here. Ellie Turner is in lane number 5. She has a chance to gain some ground here. This event sets up well for her.
Yeah, she's a strong athlete, and we got a good taste of what she's capable of at the CrossFit Games this year in a very fast sprint-based event with some fast wall balls and some fast dumbbell squat snatches. So we know that she's got the cycle rate and the strength there. It's all about how well does she respond with a movement like this coupled with box jump overs, and I think she's showing us already right out the gate here, Sean, in round 1.
Ellie Turner was one of the first women to the box jump overs, along with Danny Spiegel.
And again, we see a lot of different varieties here with the box jump overs, where we've got Annie, a few other ladies catching it high. We see Prevost also doing the same thing, catching her jumps high with her hips high, well over the knees, so they avoid fatiguing the quads.
Ellie Turner's through her first round back to the barbell for a set of 4.
She has a great cadence as well. Hits the bottom of the squat, chest is still upright. She drives her knees back to initiate the rise of the bar. And now she's racking it again, ready for more box jumps into round 2.
Ellie Turner, your leader right now, as she separated herself from Danny Spiegel. Spiegel is on her set of 4. Annika Greer in the red shorts at the bottom of your screen is on her first set of box jump overs. Now here comes Danny Spiegel to start her round of 20.
Notice Ellie's got that similar cycle rate to the men winners of this event that we watched earlier. They catch it high, they've got a smooth cadence up and over, but they're rebounding from the ground.
Olivia Kerstetter was on her, I believe, second round of box jump overs. Ellie Turner continues to lead. She is back to the barbell for 3 reps at 275.
Uh-oh. Those 3 looked easier than the last 4.
Starting to get in the groove is Ellie Turner, and she leads here in the first of these 2 heats. Now on to her set of 15.
Notice how she's even landing on one leg as she goes up and over.
There's Annika Greer.
And I understand the overall idea of minimizing the distance that the hips have to travel, perhaps going a lesser distance throughout the workout. To me, logically, catching in that low squat position only fatigues the hips and the legs a greater degree to go back to do more back squats.
2 reps now for Ellie Turner. And now back for 10 box jump overs. Ellie Turner way out in front.
Make an easy work of it. Doesn't look like she's even breaking or close to breaking her threshold quite yet.
Turner has had a bit of a rough start, slow start for the competition. 12th in event number 1, then 17th in event number 2. So looking for a top 5 finish here in event 3 to get herself moving in the right direction on the overall leaderboard. And that is her final rep at 275, and now just 5 box jump overs remain for Ellie Turner. And she is going to take heat number 1.
Get across that finish line, girl. You're not just racing these girls.
About 4:36 unofficially for Ellie Turner. Now Carolyn Prevost is trying to put some pressure on Danny Spiegel for second place in this heat. Annie Thorisdottir is in the all black. She's going back to the barbell. Spiegel's on her final rep. And Annika Greer is across.
Wow, that played off very well for her. Didn't realize she was the one eyeing up that second spot.
Danny Spiegel on to her final set of box jump overs. She will come in 3rd. Carolyn Prevost will be in 4th. And Ellie Turner hoping that her time will put her in the top 5 of this event. A great showing for Annika Greer.
Great event for her, and we know she does like to squat. There's no doubt about that.
Olivia Kerstetter comes through. There are 2 women who we will probably be watching compete for a while on these big stages, Annika Greer and Olivia Kerstetter. Kerstetter just 16 years old. The first time she has competed as an individual here. She won the CrossFit Games in the 16 to 17-year-old division back in August. Dominated that division. Here's Annie Thorisdottir. Final rep for Annie.
Nice, Rocket. Good.
Now 5 box jumps left.
You noticed Annie's position looked a little different than the rest of the girls in this field. Annie's got longer legs and a shorter torso. For her to stand up loads like that, it's really important for her to engage her posterior. And so her squat almost looks a bit more like a power lifter squat if we compare the sports. To help her have success with heavy weights, it's a part of how she's moving.
We still have some women out on the field. Manon Anganez is one of them. She's on the box jump overs. Andrea Solberg And in lane 7, that is Matilda Garnes. Less than 2 minutes to go before we hit the time cap.
You see Matilda having to make an executive decision, like, okay, is this a time, am I ready? It's a fine line between trying to balance the ability to know that you can approach this load with confidence or having those bits of doubt. She got it done.
Nicely done. Matilda Garnes getting her wrap. Like Larry said, less than 2 minutes remaining. In fact, we are approaching the 1-minute warning.
Danny Spiegel took 3rd place in the heat. Manon Anganez onto the box jump overs. Less than a minute to go here. Ellie Turner's time, 4:33.74 seconds. Matilda Garnes going with singles here.
Yeah, and that's going to be the best strategy when you know, hey, the juice is not worth the squeeze for me to link some of these reps together. You've got to do what you're most comfortable with.
Turner back cheering on Andrea Solberg. 15 seconds to go.
You gotta love events like this. Really, truly testing the capacity of these athletes. We've never seen loads like this in a squat before in a workout for time. Not on a stage like this.
That's the time cap. Ellie Turner with your time to beat with 1 heat remaining. 4:33.74 seconds. Turner found herself in a battle early with Danny Spiegel, but was really able to put some distance between herself and Spiegel in the middle rounds, and then there was no one close to her.
And Sean, we eyed her up. Ellie Turner showed out on these back squats and box jump overs. And we almost identified it right out the gate on round 1. She set a fast cycle rate on those squats, and she did not relent, even on her speed, on those box jump overs. And what a good feeling that's got to be here in the evening at Diamond Dell Diamond.
Ellie Turner looking for her best finish of the competition. 12th in event 1, 17th in event 2. Looking like that is absolutely going to change here in event number 3 as the equipment team is resetting the floor, making sure everything is ready for the second and final heat here of the back attack presented by NOBULL.
It's a great event. It's a challenging event. We've seen athletes result as singles, and we've seen athletes take it fast by the reins. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 back squats from the rack at 275 for these ladies, and descending box jump overs as they go, 25 down to 5. We know that it's going to beat up their posterior, and we know that it's certainly going to be a test with not just what they can do right now, but how they've recovered from yesterday's event 1 run.
Has your opinion about what it takes to be successful in this event changed at all after watching 3 heats?
Absolutely not. Loaded confidence is still the #1 point where athletes really have to focus on their ability to be sure of the work they're capable of when it's necessary. That's going to allow them to cycle the squats faster and transition faster from the box to the bar, as well as go fast and take chances and understand inherently to have success or to finish this workout, you're going to have to move at a fast clip.
Lane assignments for this second and final heat of back attack. Overall leader Emma Lawson will be working out of lane number 7. Danielle Brandon, who currently sits in second place overall and already has an event win in this competition, will be in lane number 5.
10 seconds. Stand by.
Amanda Barnhart is down in lane number 10, and this is a woman who loves to get her hands on any type of heavy barbell.
She loves a heavy barbell, and she's also uniquely explosive. I mean, hang power cleans, power lifts, jumping, bounding. I think that she's going to have an opportunity to really excel in this particular test, and I can't wait to watch it play out here as we watch these athletes grind through this thing.
Laura Horvath in lane 6 was the first woman onto her set of 25 box jump overs. She is in the long black pants, now middle of your screen.
We're seeing a bit of a theme here. These athletes that come out fast on that first set of 5 and then attack these box jump overs with rebounding and catching with high hips tend to have the most success in each heat that we've seen so far.
Horvath needs to get to the 30 rep mark before she heads back to the squat rack for round number 2. Cara Saunders in the white weightlifting belt, blue shirt, along with Emma Lawson, Gabby McGowan, Ariel Lowen, and Amanda Barnhart. They're all on their first sets of box jump overs, and now Laura Horvath is done, and she'll move back to her set of 4.
We had Danielle Brandon drop and fail a rep. So she had to strip the bar, get it back to the rack position, and now she's literally just reloading the plates as the rest of these girls are executing this workout.
That is huge for Danielle Brandon. As she is in last place right now in this heat. Laura Horvath back to the box jump overs after knocking out her 4 back squats at 275.
Yeah, Laura Horvath making easy work of this couplet so far.
They're making me, I'm sorry.
Danielle Brandon just has a look of resignation on her face, like she knows it's pretty much over for her, not really showing any sense of urgency right now, and struggling with the clip to get it back on. But if she can step on the gas here, there's still scores in the first heat that she has a chance to beat.
There's no doubt about it. It's just, it's hard to rebound psychologically from something like that. You've been put on pause. You had to regroup and get your weights back on while you watch the rest of these girls just execute. But we knew, Kiki told us from the beginning, hey, this is a standard that all the athletes have to hold. If the bar goes down, you've got to get it back up there yourself.
Laura Horvath continues to lead here. Cara Saunders is towards the front as well. .433.74 seconds is the top time. That was Ellie Turner in heat number 1. 3 reps now as Cara Saunders kicks off round 3, trying to catch up with Laura Horvath, who is now done with her 3rd round of box jump overs, and she heads back to the barbell for her set of 2. No problem for Laura Horvath. Now 10 box jump overs.
Still attacking with a ton of confidence, back and forth, urgency in the transition.
Laura Horvath has no one even close to her right now. Cara Saunders is in second. Gabriella McGowan in the black on the right side of the screen is in the top 5 in this heat right now. So final rep for Laura Horvath. Now 5 final box jump overs. Horvath has got a chance here to beat Ellie Turner and pick up an event win.
Looks like she's going to do it convincing.
Horvath is done. Laura Horvath will win the back attack. Cara Saunders is now finishing up her round of 10 box jump overs. She's right in the middle of your screen in that white weight belt. Ellie Turner's time will be good enough for a 2nd place finish in 95 total points. Final rep for Saunders.
Smooth. Now here's where I like to see urgency from all the athletes, understanding it's not just, again, who's to your left and to your right, but you're racing all those times from the previous heat. Go, go, go.
Saunders is in. That might put her in the top 5 in this event. Gabby McGowan has 5 remaining.
Gabby McGowan over here in lane number 8 with just one more to go.
McGowan is in. 3.5 minutes to go before we hit the time cap. 5:29.68 seconds from McGowan. Amanda Barnhart now 5 reps to go.
I'm surprised to see her stepping down all these reps. I expected her to be more of a rebounder. Total assumption from myself. I thought for sure she'd be in the thick of it, cycling those box jumps with some of those leaders in this event.
And there is our overall leader after 2 events, Emma Lawson, coming off an event win in ski bar. Now the good news for Lawson is that the closest woman to her in the overall standings is Danielle Brandon, who right now is in last place in this heat.
Again, as we watched her even execute those back squats, you have to do what you can when you can. There's a lot of things that young athletes aren't going to be able to control, whether an event is great for them or if it's not the best for them. But if you seize the moment and minimize your mistakes and reduce your setbacks, it's going to put you in a position where you get an opportunity to compete, and that's all you can hope for.
Ariel Lone on the right side of your screen, working through her box jump overs, and we have now less than 2 minutes to go before we hit the time cap. Lawson back for her final rep at 275.
I love to watch her patience in the descent and then the acceleration that the bar gets when she starts to stand. It's great execution.
Final 5 reps for Lawson. Ariel Lone is getting set for her final rep at 275, as well as Emma Lawson to make her way across the finish line. 7:39.37 seconds. And Lowen is through.
Go sprint to the finish.
Plenty of time to spare for Ariel Lowen. These Jacqueline Dahlstrom, Emma McQuaid, Alexis Raptis, and Danielle Brandon still on the floor. Raptis in the black top going through her set of 10 box jump overs. Here comes Dahlstrom in the blue pants. Final 5 reps for her. Dahlstrom looking like she's going to get inside that time cap. And she is done. There's Emma McQuaid. 10 box jump overs before heading back to the barbell. Probably not going to get there, as we now have just 10 seconds to go before we hit the 9-minute time cap. Laura Horvath is going to win the event. 4:09.77 seconds. Horvath coming in 12th place overall, looking to punch her way into the top 10 with 1 event remaining on the day. Ellie Turner, the winner from heat number 1. She'll lock up 95 points with that 2nd place finish. Annika Greer, impressive result for her at 5:04.79 seconds, beating Cara Saunders by 5 seconds. And Gabriella McGowan just edging out Danny Spiegel by 0.3 of a second for 5th. But Laura Horvath was extremely impressive in this event, kept the same pace throughout.
Yeah, same pace throughout. She came out aggressive. It's like we saw in all these heats so far, Sean, where the athlete that took control with the barbell right out the gate seemed to just hold on to it. And there was that loaded confidence that we talked about as a key to performance. And Laura Horvath showed that throughout all 5 rounds of this particular event. And that led her to another W.
Fourth Rogue Invitational for Laura Horvath, first career event win, and she is with Kiki Dixon.
Laura, you attacked heavy back squats and box jump overs. Where do you feel the balance was for you with this event?
Obviously, the barbell was like heavy and the box jump was like body weight. So that's the balance, I guess, in the workout.
And now this is your fourth Rogue Invitational appearance. What keeps you coming back?
Oh, it's awesome. Rogue always makes a great show, so I love it here.
We love having you here. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Laura Horvath with the event win. Overall standings now, Emma Lawson with just a 10-point cushion over Gabriella Magawa, who moves all the way up into second place. Cara Saunders making a huge jump, and Laura Horvath goes from 12th to 4th, courtesy of that event win. Just 10 points back of Saunders for third. Ariel Lowen is in 5th, and Annie Thorisdottir tied with Lowen in points, but she moves up the overall standings as well with one event remaining on the day. 10 total that the CrossFit athletes will face here at the Rogue Invitational. So things certainly getting interesting here heading into the final event of the day, Adrian.
Things are definitely getting interesting, and the beauty of it all is that we're only 3 scores deep, and we see how much 100 points can impact the leaderboard in itself. So as we continue to accumulate these scores, we're really going to get to set the stage for a lot of excitement to come.
Event number 3 for the CrossFit competition is in the books. Nick Mathew for the men, and it's Laura Horvath for the women. We will take a quick break. When we return, the strongman competition continues. Their final event of the evening, the Husafell sandbag carry, coming up next.